So to make the horn of the unicorn, I'm using just an ice cream container lid. So just a heavyish plastic, and I'm just going to cut the outer rim off. And then you just work the plastic a bit and roll it so that you can make a cone. This is just to give it a bit of rigidity and just reusing, you know, what you can find around your house, so you're not buying something specifically for this project. So I'm quite happy with that, and I'll just get my stapler and staple it into place, and I'll try and get it to staple as far up as I can, and then sort of undone a little bit. Just put another staple in here. Those ones didn't hold, I'll take them out. That's going to have to do. Okay, so now we need to just cut the base of the cone so it's straight at the bottom, and then we're going to wrap the cone. Okay, close enough. Now, I've tried wrapping with ribbon before and it's not very successful, so what I'm going to use is rope. I've got this rope here, it's a 3 braid, and I could wrap it like that, but I think it's a little bit too thick, so I'm going to pull this 3 braid apart. There we go. I've untethered one, so we'll start with this one. Okay, so get our hot glue gun and we'll attach it first. Try and keep it tidy inside. Ooh. And then now the trick is just trying to get it as tidy as possible at the top here. The top bit will be a little bit tricky, and then after you've made a little loop there, it shouldn't be too hard to just keep on going and wrap, wrap, wrap all the way down to the bottom. And that's going to hold that cone together as well. I'm hoping that this piece of string is long enough. So I would say occasionally it's worthwhile putting a bit of glue just so it doesn't want to unravel and stays nice and tight. But it's not, I don't think it's necessary to glue the whole way down. It's nice and shiny and it's liney, and then as we come down we can, you know, give it a bend and try and make it as spherical as possible. Try not to burn yourself on the glue like I just did. See this, I haven't quite done it long enough, so I will just stick that down, and then I'll get another piece. I'm actually going to attach it a little bit lower down so we can cover up the join. Okay, and then I'll glue up towards here. So then we can carry on tidily. Here we go. Now we're covering up the ends as we go. Nearly there. Gosh. We even need a second one. I think that's going to be long enough, and I'm going to trim it down. So I'll glue that. Tidy that up. Ow! Ooh. Be careful with that hot glue, it is hot. And I'm just going to trim that down a little bit, only because I ran out of string. Otherwise I would just keep on going. I just don't want to have to do another join right now. Okay, and on that last loop, it's worthwhile gluing that down just to make it nice and firm. Okay, so that's the unicorn horn completed, and now we're going to focus on our brow band. Okay, so the next part that I'm going to work on is the brow band. I've found an old belt at the op shop. See, it's broken, but this part's really good. I love being able to repurpose something that's going to be thrown out. So I've looked up, and for a pony size brow band, it needs 31.8 centimeters. I'm just going to round that up to 32 centimeters. So I've got my ruler here, and I might just cut the buckle off. And I want extra because some that I've made, I've just folded over and I've sewn this together, and then you can just put the reins, the bridle through and make this your brow band. This particular one that I'm making, I'm going to do with Velcro, so I'm going to have a big overlap here so I can Velcro it on, and then the existing brow band can stay on, and this can just be put into place and Velcroed onto place over the top of the existing bridle and the existing brow band, or you know, above the existing brow band. I'm going to use this black Velcro, and I'm going to hot glue it into place. So obviously you need to have enough space for the bridle to go through. So we wrap around and then we Velcro, but we want to have plenty of sticky parts so that it doesn't fall off. So I'm going to just cut this in half and use half of each. I'm going to put the soft part on this side and the scratchy bit on the back, so that if there's any chance of it scratching, it's not going to scratch the pony. So I'll just cut those the right size too. So those are ready. So that bit I'll attach first with hot glue. And if you find that the hot glue isn't sticking this on properly, then you can always sew it through, because you don't want it falling apart. This Velcro has obviously been used before, but that's okay. It's good to reuse things that have been used and not waste things. So I'm going to put that there, and in fact this could be potentially adjustable. So I'm going to leave those stuck together and nice and firm, and then I can measure from here to the 32 mark. Just move everything out of the way, my old glue gun, and I might even stick these together for the gluing side. So 32 is here, plus I've got an overlap of 8 centimeters. So that's 8 centimeters, and I want to cut it off. So once again, I'm measuring my 32 centimeters, which is here. Folding it back. So that's 32. And then now I'm going to attach my Velcro to the back of that. So we should be able to open and close that no problem. And we'll be able to slip that over the bridle, no issue. I am going to just, some of the glue hasn't held here, so I'm just going to stick a bit more onto the edge so that there's no gap. This bit needs a little bit more too. We want it to be nice and firm. And then now, what we're going to try and do is attach the horn to the brow band. So our horn needs to go central, and our brow band is 32 centimeters, so that's going to be at 16 centimeters as the center of this. So 13 to 19 here. This is where it's going to sit. So I'm going to try and just glue that on as best as I can, and I potentially will sew this on as well. We'll see how it holds. But we don't want bits falling off. Get the glue right underneath. Let it blob out either side. All of this is going to be covered with flowers. Unless you want to keep it real simple and just have a unicorn horn on your brow band. But I'm going to cover mine with flowers. While I let that dry, I'm going to get some thread. I've got some really heavy thread here because I want this to be quite heavy duty and strong. If you feel the need, you can sew your Velcro on, or you could have sewed these bits down and then just threaded your bridle through. I'm wanting to do this so it's more versatile and can be removed easily. That way you don't need to have your own, you don't have to have a separate bridle for your unicorn horn. So just thread that, and then from there, hopefully that's drying, we're going to get through here. And we're going to sew it onto here. So I might use the stitching that they've got here to push through. It's really my only chance to get through this leather. Well, this is vinyl really, but see there, and then I'm going to tie it. Bring that through, and I'm going to tie this on. And once this is attached, we can then go around and sew it as much as we want, and as much as we need. So I'm going to come back and do more sewing there, come back down through. And those stitch holes are working perfectly. I'd have to work a lot harder if I didn't have those stitch holes, and I'll just keep using the string that we've wrapped the horn with to sew through. The other option would be to make holes in the plastic, but once again that's going to be a lot harder than sewing through string. So I'll come up to the top again, and I'm going to go to the other side. Keep it underneath the white. Once again, I'm going to be putting flowers all along here, so a lot of this is going to be covered, but I'll still try to keep it quite tidy. I can see the stitches there. So then, now that we've come through here, push through, an existing hole. So I'll then come up, do another stitch, come back down through the existing hole. Do a couple more loops and move on to the next one. So I'll slip this through the thread, through the rope, the braid, and then come out this side. I've got a lot of glue in the way, but I'll attach it to this hole. You can see that. Come back up through the thread, through the rope, back through. I'm going to do one more. Just trying to get the right angle here, excuse me. And then back through the hole. And then we're going to tie off again. Oop. And then we'll just cut it off. We're going to hot glue flowers on. I've found these flowers from an op shop actually, and I really like being able to repurpose something that isn't necessarily going to be used again. So I'm very happy to use old flowers to make something that's fresh and can be reused. These leaves work really well as a base. So we'll just cut them off because we're going to glue them down. So I do have these big ones too. I was thinking glue, but now I'm looking at these other things. I quite like them, so I'm not sure if I'll make it properly glue. This might be a bit big. Okay, so generally what I'll do is I'll make a little bit of an arrangement first, just to test things and see how they're going. Oh look, that could just be pink, isn't that pretty? Okay, I've cut off all those blue ones, but I'm actually going to make a pink one this time. Maybe use some of this dark. They did get a bit dusty, so I'm dusting them off. I quite like these leaves too, aren't they pretty? Okay. So, see how big that is? That's covering a lot of the horn. I'll move everything back so we can see. In fact, I think that might be pretty much set. So what I'll do is I'll take the top layers off and we'll glue the leaves into place. And cut that down a bit so it's flatter. Ow! Ooh, that's really hot. So I might start with making a leaf base the whole way. So I'm using plenty of hot glue and sticking it down hard, and as you saw that was quite painful. And then we just make this base, and then we're going to layer up the colours we're doing. And sort of glue things into place so that they hold the way you want them to. go. Some more hot glue in there. And then I'll just put my flowers around where I want them. I think I'm just going to do like an alternating, either an alternating, or I might maybe that's the way to go. So there's a bit more difference there. So these will probably take quite a lot of glue to stick down. Just give it a good bed. I'm going to have to let this dry firm as well. Plenty of glue, and then down into position. There we go. Into there. Some broken bits will take them off. And then how was this going to be? Was it like this? Here we go. So get rid of all the little bits of strands. Try and keep it nice and tidy. And then plenty of glue. And then down into position, try not to touch it. There we go. So here is the finished Unicorn Browband. You can just open and close that so it can go straight onto the existing bridle.